We are not happy about.
Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Good news from the paddock. Maverick Vinales and Jorge Martín are both set to travel to Valencia for the season finale, with the pair hoping to take part in the race and, crucially, the post-GP test. After long spells on the sidelines, Vinales with a shoulder problem, Martín with a displaced collarbone, the weekend will be treated as a controlled step back to race action and a starting point for 2026 preparations. Ducati leaves Portimão with a mix of frustration and quiet optimism. Pecco Bagnaia's struggles continued, his form uneven and his confidence elusive, while Nicolò Bulega, in just his second MotoGP weekend, impressed with maturity and pace. Speaking to Sky Sport Italia, Ducati team manager Davide Tardozzi analyzed both riders' performances, defending Bagnaia's class while praising Bulega's progress and underlining the brand's long-term vision. Toprak Razgatlioglu took his first steps into MotoGP life with Yamaha's new V4 at Motorland Aragon, a careful, ergonomics-first shakedown designed to set the foundations for his 2026 move with Pramac Yamaha. Yamaha treated the day as a controlled first contact rather than a full test, prioritizing rider comfort, position and gradual adaptation over headline lap times. For Toprak, the task is clear: keep the aggression that made him a superbike star, but relearn how to use it with Michelin tires and MotoGP electronics. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Vinales missed the last 3 Grands Prix while rehabbing a shoulder injury sustained at the German GP. He attempted a comeback earlier but judged his performance insufficient and elected to prioritize recovery. Tech 3 KTM's social channels confirmed he has now been cleared to return to the bike at Valencia. Team messaging indicated Vinales is ready to return this weekend after focused rehabilitation. For Vinales and Tech 3, Valencia is less about scoring and more about proving that the shoulder is race fit and that he can start rebuilding race mileage ahead of winter work. Martín has battled a run of injuries in 2025, the latest being a displaced fracture of his right clavicle suffered at the start of the sprint in Japan. He missed most of the Asian swing, but is traveling to Chest and will undergo a medical examination on Thursday to determine whether he can ride. Regardless of the race decision, the weekend is being framed as a test and a step toward full fitness. Aprilia confirmed Martín will be evaluated medically on Thursday before any on-track return. Martín's presence in Valencia would be an important milestone for his recovery timetable, but the team is prioritizing long-term fitness over a rushed comeback. Both riders and their teams have made clear priorities. Race attendance is secondary to being present for the official MotoGP test on Tuesday at Ricardo Tormo. That test is the main target, a chance to refamiliarize with the machinery and start meaningful development for 2026. The main weekend objective is to gather useful laps in the test rather than chase immediate race results. When recovery is measured in months rather than days, a conservative program, a few controlled laps in the GP and focused work in the test, is the sensible route. Both Tech 3 and Aprilia appear to be taking a cautious approach. Medical sign-offs, limited race ambitions and the explicit view that Valencia will be a stepping stone for the winter program. That reduces short-term pressure on the riders while preserving the chance to contribute to early 2026 development. A sensible risk-averse plan protects rider careers and gives teams the best chance to use the Valencia test effectively. Valencia will be a low-key but significant weekend for both Maverick Vinales and Jorge Martín. If they ride, it will be a carefully managed return designed to prioritize health and accumulate targeted test time for 2026. Either way, the story isn't points in the standings. It's progress toward being fully fit and ready for the new season. Bulega's debut as a MotoGP stand-in concluded with a single championship point, but Tardozzi sees far more value than the result suggests. Bulega's 15th place might seem low, but it isn't. Nicolò handled the situation well. He made a mistake yesterday and was cautious today, but his pace in the final laps was among the top 5. That leaves us very satisfied. For Ducati, the rookie's measured approach was a sign of intelligence. He showed he can adapt to the GP25, avoid repeat errors, and finish strong. As Tardozzi put it, every lap on a MotoGP bike counts. These weekends are fundamental for his growth. Attention inevitably turned to Bagnaia, whose recent form has raised questions. Tardozzi was firm. The issue isn't talent or pace, but the fragile connection between rider and machine. Pecco's speed has never been in doubt. What complicates things is this lack of confidence. When a rider doesn't feel comfortable, he can't ride with freedom. Ducati's top brass are unanimous. The world champion's potential remains intact. The focus now is on restoring the natural trust between Bagnaia and his Desmosedici, which once made them nearly untouchable. We've done everything to bring him back to his best. If something is still missing, we'll discuss it internally and understand why. The key word in Tardozzi's message is confidence, repeated, deliberate, and defining. Bagnaia's struggles are not mechanical, but mental, a matter of rediscovering the instinctive feel that powered his title runs. Beyond the current MotoGP campaign, Ducati's eyes are already on the future. Bulega will play a key role in developing the next-generation T50 Superbike project, bridging MotoGP experience with World SBK insight. Nicolò is learning how MotoGP works, from electronics to data management. This will be essential when he returns to Superbike with Pirellis and starts full development work. Tardozzi confirmed testing of the new prototype is planned between March and July, aiming to strengthen both Ducati's factory program and its World SBK title ambitions. One round remains, Valencia, followed by pivotal post-season testing. For Tardozzi, these weeks mark a transition from troubleshooting to rebuilding. In Valencia, we'll try to finish the season on a high note. Then the tests will be our new starting point, for Pecco, for Nicolò, for everyone. We have the potential. We just need to put everything back in place. Ducati's confidence in its structure remains unshaken. The message from Tardozzi is clear: the storm will pass, and both the champion and the apprentice will emerge stronger. Portimão offered Ducati both a warning and a promise. Bagnaia's spark flickers but hasn't faded, while Bulega's calm progression hints at the brand's future depth. As Tardozzi summed it up, speed can be regained, but confidence must be rebuilt. Valencia and the post-season tests will determine how quickly Ducati can turn that belief into results. Yamaha purposely framed Aragon as a shakedown focused on ergonomics and rider setup. Paolo Pavizio underlined the cautious approach. I wouldn't call it a test, it's more of a shakedown, a first contact focused on ergonomics and preparing the ground for the official Valencia tests. With Andrea Dovizioso and Augusto Fernandez already working with the test squad, Toprak's first day was about feel and positioning, building blocks for the chest outing. Small adjustments now should avoid big problems later. Yamaha wants Toprak ready to work, not frustrated, when Valencia arrives. Yamaha's caution stems from a rough first encounter in 2023, when Toprak left an early Jerez test unhappy with the bike's fit. This time the factory prioritized measured ergonomics checks so the Turk can start Valencia with physical and positional issues already resolved. Pavizio's aim is simple: avoid a repeat and let Toprak focus on riding rather than battling cockpit discomfort. Getting the basics right may look boring, but it's often what wins championships. The biggest technical hurdle isn't the V4 itself, but the Michelin tire philosophy. Switching from aggressive Pirellis to precision-demanding Michelins forces a braking and entry overhaul. As Nicolò Bulega warned after his Ducati debut, Toprak might be the best braker in the world, but here that strength could work against him. Toprak will have to temper instinctive late-braking aggression with smoother inputs to preserve front grip. If Toprak can marry his bravery with Michelin finesse, Yamaha gains a spectacular ace. If not, the learning curve will be steep. For Yamaha, the day is strategic. The V4 represents a major technical change, and Toprak is the marquee signing expected to accelerate their renaissance. Paolo Pavizio made the point that Aragon was about preparing the ground. The real development story will begin in Valencia and continue through winter testing. With Toprak's speed and Yamaha's resources, the factory hopes to close the gap to Ducati, Aprilia and KTM. This was less a headline and more a handover. Yamaha handed Toprak a platform. Now both must build the house. The plan is sequential: confirm ergonomics in Aragon, refine at the Valencia test, then begin 2026 race preparations. Toprak's transition will be watched closely. His ability to adapt braking style, understand Michelin behavior, and give clear feedback will shape Yamaha's winter program. Andrea Dovizioso and Augusto Fernandez will feed parallel data streams, accelerating the learning curve. The next milestones are clear: comfortable cockpit, Michelin harmony, and useful test mileage in chest. If those boxes are ticked, Toprak's Pramac Yamaha chapter can start with momentum. Toprak Razgatlioglu's first outing on the Yamaha V4 was deliberately low-key but significant, a controlled first step in what Yamaha hopes will be a large leap forward. The job now is technical and patient: retrain braking, refine ergonomics, and turn a spectacular superbike style into a MotoGP weapon. Aragon didn't answer all questions, but it set the right ones in motion for a promising 2026 beginning. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!